Gary requested this problem number 13 on the quiz, 5.5 to 5.7 quiz. And I did this whole quiz on a video already, but Zoom didn't save it when I made it. So I will go over number 13, and then if you guys, and maybe I'll go over 15 also. And I'll do 13, 14, and 15 because those are probably the hardest ones. So let's go ahead and go to look at the problems first. Let's see. Okay, so 13, a goalie's saves are the dots and the goals scored against are X's. What percent of shots did the goalie save? So what you need to do is find the total first, because it needs to be out of the total shots combined. So you're going to count all of the dots and all the X's together to figure out the total shots taken. So if I go ahead and start at the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so there's 20 total shots, but we want the saves out of the total shots. So the saves are the dots. So now I need to count the dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So now I'm going to go to my whiteboard and I'm going to do 14 out of 20. So I have 14 out of 20, and I want to find the percent. So I know that percent means per 100, and this is per 20. So I have to make an equivalent fraction that's per 100. So I have to multiply by 5, right, to get 100, to get my percent per 100. Whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 14 times 5. 5 times 10 is 50. 5 times 4 is 20. Add them together, you get 70. 70 out of 100 is what percent? 70 per 100 is 70%. So now I just have to write my percent sign. So he saved 70% of the shots out of the total. So that was number 13. Okay, now I'm going to do number 14 on the quiz. So this one talks about percentages of money spent. So you're starting out with $80. Okay, and it says that you spend 25% of this $80 on a pair of shorts. So remember, the word of means multiply. So we need to do 25% of 80. So in order to figure out what 25% would be as a fraction, all I do is do 25 over 100, because it's 25 per 100, okay, times 80, right, of 80. So 25 per 100 of 80. So now I can reduce or I can cross cancel, whatever you want to do. This 25 over 100 is the same as 1/4, right? Because there's 4 25s in 100. So you could do it that way, times 1/4 of 80. And if you do it that way, you would get 80 over 4, or you could have also cross canceled. And then you do division, because this line here is a division operation, or you can think of it as an improper fraction. So now 80 divided by 4 is going to give me 20. So that would be $20, right? Or you could do, if you want to do it with just using cross canceling here, you divide by 20 and you get 4, divide by 20 and you get 5. And then 25 times 4 is 100. And 5 times 1 is 5. Remember, this is improper fraction, or this is division line. So 100 divided by 5 equals 20. So I get the same answer, $20. Okay, now that's the first part, but it says you spend 65% of the remainder on sandals. So if I start with $80 and I spend that $20, I have to subtract it, which is now $60 remaining. Okay, so now I have to multiply that by 65%. So I'm going to do 65 over 100, just like I did before. Okay, so now I have to do 60 over 1 times 65 over 100. I could cross cancel, so I'm going to divide by 20, which is going to give me 3. Divide by 20 is going to give me 5. And now I can do 3 times 65, which I'm just going to use my calculator for this. 65 times 3 is 195 over 5, right? Because 1 times 5 is 5. Now I have to do division. This is improper fraction, so 195 divided by 5 equals 39. So I should be left with $39. Okay, so it says $39 is how much you spent on sandals. Okay, so that's your final answer. So that one takes a little bit of time. That's number 14 on the quiz. Okay, now I'm gonna do number 15 and we're gonna call it at that. And if you guys have any other questions, let me know and I will do it on video. Okay, so this is the one with the windsurfers. You've got the blue and the red windsurfer, so you have to figure out which one's going faster. This is number 15. So the blue, I'm going to put B for blue. He's going 15 meters per 1 second. So 5 meters, I'm sorry, 5 meters per 1 second. And then your red is going 720 feet per minute. So notice that both measurements, the distance and the time, need to be converted because one is in seconds, one's in minutes, one's in meters, one's in feet. So I'm going to change this one to be per minute because I know that there's 60 seconds in a minute. So remember, you always want your measurements across diagonal. I'm sorry, I say cross, I mean diagonal from each other, right? So I can cross them out. So 60 seconds per 1 minute. And actually, I'm going to write minute like this because I want to distinguish between meters and minutes, right? I don't want to get confused. So this is 1 minute and this is meters. Okay, so I'm looking at my blue guy right now. I'm going to now cross out my seconds. And now I'm going to multiply 5 times 60. 5 times 6 is 30, add a 0, so 300 meters per 1 minute. Okay, so now I have 300 meters per 1 minute. So now my minutes match up, but my length or my distance doesn't match up. So 720 feet versus meters. So now I'm going to change. I'm still changing the blue one. I'm going to change it to be feet. So remember, I want my meters to be diagonal. So I'm going to use my conversion factor. I'm going to put meters on the bottom and feet on the top. So I need to go to the back of my book and find feet to meters or meters to feet. So I go to 1 meter is 3.28 feet. Okay, so now I can cross out my meters and I'm going to multiply 300 times 3.28. So take my calculator. That's why it's important to be able to use a calculator. 3.28 times 300 equals 984. So 984, now remember this is feet, right? Because I crossed out my meters, per, what I have left is minutes, right? Because 1 times 1 is still 1 per 1 minute. Okay, so now remember this is the blue guy and this is the red guy. So this red guy goes 720 feet per 1 minute and the blue guy goes 984 feet. Whatever one goes farther in a minute is the one that's traveling faster, right? So this one travels faster. So the blue is faster. Okay. Don't just guess on this one. You actually have to prove it. Find the rate. All right, last one is going to be that was the last one. Okay, so hopefully that was helpful. If you have any other questions, let me know.